Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for Donald John Trump's Friday, November 20th. And I'm using the Radiant Rider Waite, but I've cut it down so the cards are smaller, but that way I can fit them all in frame here. And the Maybe Lenormand, which is this deck right here. Which it's by Ryan Edwards, and he calls it the Maybe Lenormand because there's more than 36 cards. There's 52, so it's like is it Lenormand? What is it? But it's a combo of the Lenormand and Gypsy. Okay, so the decks are shuffled. Let me move this one over here because I'm going to use the tarot first. Okay, so the forces in motion. Donald John Trump's challenges this day, what he's planning, what he's doing, karma, the law of cause and effect hanging over him, and what he's really feeling, and the future. His future, okay. And if you guys hear any weird noises, it's a really windy day here, and my neighbor's big, beautiful tree, all the leaves are falling and running against like the side of my house. It could be a funny sound. Okay, so with the tarot, oh goodness. Okay, so the forces in motion this day, we have the Four of Swords reversed. Oh, yikes. It's not that good. Now, it would be good for one of us if we had it right side up because it would be about resting in meditation and being really grateful and going inside and giving thanks and being very peaceful and recuperating, rejuvenating. When it's reversed, he cannot rest. This is restlessness. This is... you know, I mean, sometimes it's an illness, even straight up for one of us. It could be like an illness where we have to stay down and rest. But he doesn't do that. We have to remember what happened to him with COVID, the way he pushed himself to the nth degree and just, you know, didn't give a rat's a rat's behind about his health. And, you know, that's what somebody does when they're that distorted, when their willpower takes over their lives and they want what they want at all costs, any and all costs. So he may be paying the price for that at this point. But, you know, at the very least, you know, this is a card of anxiety. This is a card of just being, you know, stressed out and burned out. But like I said, it's a real lack of self-care, which is terrible. That's nobody should be doing that. Okay, so his challenge with the Queen of Wands reversed, when she's straight up, her intuition is intact. That's why we have the black kitty here. And she has a lot of self-confidence. She knows she can create her own reality, and she knows how to do it. And she also knows she can get the support she needs. When it's reversed, maybe this is Ivanka. That is his challenge at this point. That's interesting. At the very least, what it means is because he's burned out, stressed out, and his body's finally rebelling against him, which it needed to, I think this could be that he's feeling a real lack of self-confidence. And that's his challenge. Okay, so what he's planning, oh my goodness. Okay, now of course the death card doesn't naturally mean death. It just means big change. It's everything to do with this really should be called the Death Rebirth card. And in this deck here that I use for my spiritual growth readings, the Light Seers Tarot, let me see if I can magically pull out. Oh, apparently not. Like, could I get the death card here? So you can see it. But anyway, Chris Ann, the creator of this deck, she named it, I absolutely love this deck. She named it the Death Rebirth card. So, okay, I'll let go of that. Anyway, the card, the real meaning of the card is just big change, but it does mean an ending. So he's planning on ending something and moving forward. So, okay, we'll find out what that is with when I get the Lenormand cards going. We'll find out what that death is about, or what the big change is about, what the big plans of change are about for him. Maybe he realizes, maybe all this lack of self-confidence and stressed and burned out here, maybe he's finally in acceptance. Maybe he is finally in one of the 5 stages of grief. Although I would say six stages, because we always need to add rebirth into that. But anyway, for him, it has something to do with just big changes. And you can see, here's the Pope. Here's this guy with the crown that the Knight of Death, or the Angel of Death. Up here we have the white rose showing, or the big white flower. I don't know what type of a flower it is. I think it's supposed to be a white rose. But anyway, the meaning there is that, now there's a clean slate. Maybe there's some purity that can come through. There really never is. Nobody ever really dies. We just transition on. At least I don't believe that we truly die and that's it. I think it's just a new transition into another realm, and then we keep coming back to Earth to get our lessons. This is Earth school. But back to the images down here, we can see the man with his crown has fallen off, and death has stepped right over him. And the child is kind of like, oh my goodness, I don't know what that little symbol is. Is it a horn of some type? There's something near that child. Oh well, I'll let it go. I don't really know what that is. I'll have to look it up in one of my tarot books. But look at the woman there that's looking away, like, oh, I can't even look. It's so terrible. I think death gets a bad rap, honestly. But of course we all want a peaceful, smooth, a peaceful transition, of course. I don't know that he deserves that, or that he's ever going to get that, honestly. But as far as plans go, yeah, I think he's just thinking of a new start and what can he do. I think that by this Friday, so this Friday before Thanksgiving, I think he's feeling like, I think he's in acceptance. Whether or not he's ever going to concede to Joe Biden, I think he realizes what's gone on, and that's what at some point you got to wake up and smell the cat box, right? So what he's doing with the Knight of Cups, when the Knight of Cups is straight up, it can be someone with an offer, which would be him making an offer. But when it's reversed, it's major manipulation. It's offers that can't be trusted. And we know that he has a tremendous pattern for hiring people and then not paying them, all the way back into the 80s, with, remember the Polish Brigade? Anybody can look up the Polish Brigade and see how he stiffed them of, I can't remember how much money. I don't think it was only 85,000. Might have been. I can't remember. There's so much dirt on this guy. It's like I lose track, man. I can't keep track of it all. I'm reminded, and then I go, oh yeah. And you think that was the worst thing, and then later on he does something worse, and then you forget about the things prior to. But as far as what he's doing, when the Knight of Cups comes in reversed, the only thing we can trust is to know that this guy isn't trustworthy. This is a card of, grifters and fake promises and, cheaters and deceivers. Sometimes it's just bad news, because all the knights can be news, as well as all the pages. They're moving forward with something, but because it's reversed, this isn't the white knight coming to rescue you. this is bad news or somebody very, very deceptive. So he's doing something deceptive. Okay, so when we get to the Lenormand portion, I'm sure we'll get the details on that. His karma is with partnerships, and his karma is with his doctors who, who got him through COVID and lied and made it look like he was stronger than he was. So he has karma with the medical professions, at least the ones at Walter Reed that helped him. He has karma with anyone and everyone who even got a mild case of the coronavirus because he did not protect us. This is a card of, you can see the caduceus here, and the see the lion up there with the wings. That would show generous love, and it would show the doctor's commitment to first do no harm. Well, he didn't align with anything like that. He didn't want to get the medical profession involved in it. Way back in late January of last year, of this year, when he knew that the coronavirus was coming to the USA, that it already had maybe even landed on our shores, was on that cruise ship, and or at least had come into Washington, Washington State, and then. So he was told about it, and then verbally told about it then, but then physically on paper he was briefed that it was here in February, and he still did nothing. And then in April he tried to play it down. And there's all those tapes, from Bob Woodward, who taped him saying, "I always wanted to play it down, didn't want anybody to panic." Well, he's a liar. He didn't want to deal with it. He'd already thrown out everything that had to do with any pandemic task force that Obama had created. And just because it had Obama's name on it, that's the only reason he would, want to get rid of anything. Like the Affordable Health Care Act. Anything with Obama's, fingerprints on it, he just wants to destroy. Because he's a vengeful, very, distorted being. And no wonder he has no self-confidence. Because he's destroying himself. That's the problem. When you're dark like these people, you end up self-sabotaging. It's just a lifetime of self-sabotage that finally breaks through, and no one trusts you, no one listens to you anymore, except for a few, because you're always going to have those all those few people around that don't have any sense of self. So you end up with the blind leading the blind, and that's what we're witnessing at this point. So he has karma with any and every COVID patient, whether they recovered or not. And he has karma with the medical professions, pharmaceutical. We could look at this card as being like the illness that won't go away, and you're hanging in the ethers, like, okay, can I just die? Maybe I want to just die. It's so bad. Because this is the Forces in Motion card, I think this is more than just him. This is what he has set into motion. He has created so much karma because of the coronavirus, and all that's coming down on him, and that's what maybe he's planning to get out from under any type of responsibility from that. And I really do hope, one of my wonderful viewers has a question, and I need to read on it at some point, and I will. It's in my list. On my list. She was wondering if he would ever be held accountable, like some type of a class action lawsuit, or would there ever be a class action lawsuit against him because of all the coronaviruses that have been contracted. And I think the question had to do with their family members, for people that they have lost. So that's the feel I'm getting on this. It's like he's just giving out bad news about the coronavirus. He's just lying. He's just deceiving about the coronavirus. Okay. What is he feeling with the Five of Swords? He's feeling a deep inner conflict. He thinks that the only way for him to function as a human being and make it in this world is to believe that it's a dog-eat-dog world, which is not true. Unless you believe it, then that will be your reality. And he does believe that, and that has been his reality. He's stuck in a conflict, a deep inner conflict that says, I have to be the winner, I always have to be right, I always have to get what I want, or I'm nobody. So, you know, that's how he feels. And he also feels like he has to take everything, and he doesn't care about friends or, you know, anybody caring about him. He doesn't care about that. This is like winning at all costs. So that's what he's feeling, really feeling, whether or not we'll ever know it. His future, I think he's going to be looking for a new job or new means of reinventing himself with the Two of Wands. Okay. All right, so now with the Lenormand, let's see. Bear with me. I'm going to move these up and see how much I can fit in. Okay, and then, does that work? Yeah, okay. I might even be able, well, yeah, I think I can move these down even more, just so you can for sure see which cards they are. Yeah, okay, now bear with me while I draw these cards here to, you know, basically get the same, get more information on the same positions. Okay, so forces in motion. I'll firm those up in a moment. His challenges. What he's planning. What he's doing. Karma that's hanging over him. The law of cause and effect in his life. His real feelings, and his future. Okay, let me try and keep these in a little bit of order so that in case I want to draw a couple more cards for the future. All right, so let's see. I'll leave room for the closed captions here. Let's just do it this way. Actually, well, how about that? Nah, that doesn't matter. There, okay. I hope that's enough room. There, okay. Now these should go faster. So this was... Oh, goodness. Patience, patience, patience. Okay, that's good there. All right. Okay. Is everything still, oops. There, okay. Hopefully this works. Okay, so with the flowers and the locomotive card, or locomotion, as far as in relationship with the forces in motion, well, there's something surprising and maybe some recovery over the land, over the USA. So I think this is, I think this has to do with all the votes, probably, just about, everything's in. Even though, things aren't certified, we have to go through, many, many more steps that will take us all the way into, I think, January 8th. December 14th, the electors have to vote, and then January 8th of next year, the votes are turned in. And then, of course, we have the inauguration on January 20th. But still, by now, all the votes are in, and maybe by this day on the 20th, things are counted up, and there's a big surprise. And of course, he lost. He didn't even make it. He lost so bigly that he didn't even make it to the he didn't even get the minimum, electoral college votes. Poor baby. Oh my God. So we're free in USA. Of course, there were a ridiculous amount that voted for him, but I still don't believe that many did. I believe that a lot of those voting machines in the swing states, I think that they were rigged, and to keep certain people in power, senators in power. I really do. So, forces in motion, something surprising going across the land, across the USA, and traveling really quickly. And I think this has to do with, again, the coronavirus. It's a possibility. It's either something so surprising that the spread of the coronavirus is going so fast across the United States of America, or there's some little recovery. I don't know which it's going to be. Being that it's winter time, it's highly doubtful that there's recovery. And I think this is more, especially because this card, whether this card were upright or reversed, doesn't matter. It still indicates illness. And this could indicate that we're so burned out and stressed out because of the surprising amounts of the coronavirus that has spread across our land. I really feel that that's more of what's going on. His challenges, of course, is his lack of self-confidence, but because the woman card popped in here, I think it's probably Ivanka. I don't know what sun sign she is. I forget. I don't really care. But I know that Melania is a Taurus, and this is not a Taurus card. So I feel like it could be Ivanka. And Ivanka does, she knows how to keep the money going, but there's a challenge. This is all a challenge. Maybe she doesn't have any self-confidence or doesn't have any confidence in him anymore, and she's going her own way to keep her own, take care of herself and her own family. That's possible. Again, with what he's planning as far as big change or getting out from under the responsibility of the coronavirus, this has to do with him strengthening his financial position in the government. The Tower card in the Lenormand is the government or any institution, even high rises. This could even be Trump Tower somewhere else. So he's thinking about, he's working on ways to, even though it's done and it's over for him, he's working on ways to bring more money in. I mean, why would we be surprised about that? There's nothing surprising there. Okay, the karma that's hanging over him, of course, he's not to be, or no, wait, I'm sorry. This is planning. This is doing. This is karma here. This is doing. What he's doing is he's lying. He's deceiving, and it's for his own, selfish means, his own, financial independence, and he's trying to make changes. Wow, he's like pushing. He's pushing the limits of the institution of our Constitution. He's pushing the limits as to the rules that are in place that hold our Constitution together. Well, he's done this for the last 4 years, so none of this is a surprise to me. His karma is, well, with the letter card, this can be any and all documents. It can also be prescriptions. And this has to do with the prescriptions. And this could, even though I would like to see, you know, like the, well, if I drew another card, well, here, it's okay. Let me just pull the card out, just so you guys, because when you get the visual of a card, then the meaning really gets, you know, into your brain. Let me find, if I can find the scythe, there it is. So if we had these two cards together right here, the scythe and the letter, this would be a vaccination. Or it could be surgery and then, you know, a prescription after, or a doctor with a contract for surgery, you know, surgical contract, something like that. But anyway, what I think this is right here is the medical. I think this is the vaccines, and I think this is the any prescriptions or like antibody treatment, anything like that, that could move forward and help us improve. And he has karma with that because he's, you know, well, of course he'll try and take credit for it, but he has karma with how slowly things have gone and how little care there has been because of his just lack of responsibility and his immaturity and his, you know, because he doesn't care. But his real feelings are being kept secret while he's trying to make new plans. He's at a crossroads in his life. This is the crossroads card. And one of the key meanings is choices. So he's trying to make it, you know, he has to make new choices, but he's trying to keep it all secret. And he's just doing whatever he can selfishly for himself. This card knights over here to both of these cards, especially to this one here. And both these two cards are very, very selfish, very self-centered. Because he's so out of alignment with the laws of, you know, the laws of the universe and the laws of love and truth, he doesn't know that we're all connected, and our attitudes towards, you know, we need to care for everyone else the same degree that we care for ourselves, and to the degree that we don't care for ourselves, which is him, to that same degree you can't care for other people. So all these people out in the world that are abusing their bodies and abusing, you know, drugs and alcohol and things like that, just know that they will also abuse you. So you got to steer clear of them. They need to be in rehab and get help, and they need to keep going back and back and back and back into rehab, however many times they need to. But first they have to want to have the help. And then it's really hard. There's so much subterfuge that happens. So much substitution that happens in a person's life when their biggest drug is money, because it's so widely accepted, you know, and like the way his fans, the maggots, they put him on a pedestal because he makes money. Like they think that that's the best thing in the world. Well, we as Americans need to know that. No, that's not how it works. Yeah, you can have good self-esteem, and which means that you value your time and energy, and you deserve to be paid a good wage. But when your entire modus operandi of moving through life is just to crash and burn, take, rape, pillage, just take whatever, just to get the money all the time, which is why he became president. Was he wanted the money and the power to go back into his coffers, into his Trump towers. And he's planning more of that. He's planning on more of that. So we'll see how all this goes when the lawsuits come down on him. He might be worrying about that. The book card can also be lawsuits. It's not always just secrets. It's also a card of unknown. So this could be that he doesn't really know his own feelings. That would make perfect sense to me. And he's at a crossroads in his life where he needs to become conscious. He needs to wake up some little bit. This is also a card of, hiding things. So he's hiding his real feelings and his choices. His future. So with the Two of Wands, of course, this is a card of looking out over the future. You can see the world here. It has everything to do with plans, but it can it can be a very restless card because nothing's concrete yet. It's in such a early stage. The plans, it's really like, okay, you have the power, you can make plans. Okay, so what are your plans? What do you want? Well, he's trying to figure that out, and he still wants to be the star. He has plans to be a star on, a public star on TV. God. Let's see. How successful is he going to be? No, wait. Actually, let's use the Kipper. How successful? Okay, so this little book, or this little deck, Chira Marchetti's Kipper. All right. How successful is he going to be as a new? He's either going to try the book deals. Well, because the book card was in there. Yeah. Book deals, and he's going to try. He's going to try, Trump TV. He and his family, they're all going to try that. They're going to try their streaming service. Remember the Stars card? That's about internet streaming. And this is fame and fortune. So let's see. How's he going to do? How successful is the Trump family going to be? Especially when all the lawsuits come down on them. Eric's got something coming down on him, and he can plead the 5th and the 7th. He can plead everything he wants, but he's guilty. And they're still working on that. It's just, it takes time to get through the courts. How successful is Donald John Trump gonna be? Oops. Occupation. That's him. Occupation for the man. And that's got to be Melania because she's the main female. One of the other ones would have come through if it were Ivanka. Poverty. And maybe there's a wealthy man involved that will make money off of it, but Donald won't. Or this might just be poverty for the previous wealthy man. That may be it. I mean, I suppose he could be both. The wealthy man card is also just about, somebody wise, somebody supportive and wise and older. This is definitely him with a job. His occupation is being like the main character, and maybe Melania as well. But they have in their future poverty. So if this is a backer or supporter to fund them, he's not going to do well either. He's going to lose his shorts, to say the least. Okay. Well, there we go. So, okay, that's all I have for today, and I'll be back for Saturdays. And meanwhile, you guys take good care. And if you want readings on spiritual growth, please see those videos I do every day as well. Okay, thanks. Bye.